and Los Angeles, and this is the type of ways that you can play with Wemby. Except he has a skill set that they didn't have, which is Wemby can actually shoot. And depending on his progression with his shooting, Wemby can be a better shooter this year than what he already was last year. I look at the Chris Paul move more so as I think he's here more so to help like Trey Jones and Castle more than him actually giving like production on the court for the team now is more how I look at the Chris Paul move. That's what I'm trying to say, Damo.
Yeah, yes. I don't know. I seen last year y'all had, in my opinion, issue at the point guard position. Y'all draft a guard who, if anything, I see. I mean, on this team, I guess with Devin Vassell, if he's going to be there long term, he's going to have to be the one. But I seen Stephen Castle as more of a tweener combo guard, probably playing more of the two. I just view Chris Paul as a W move for a team trying to make sure their young guys are taking the right steps forward. I mean, you're bringing a veteran in there, a veteran guard that can come in there, slow the game down, a veteran guard that can come in there and give pointers on not only the guards, but give pointers to Wemby. If we look at the guys that Chris Paul has played with, he's played with a lot of guys that rim ran, basket to basket, cut, dove to the rim, caught lobs. A lot of that shit that Wemby was not getting last year. We seen Wemby cutting to the rim and not getting the ball with his hands up. We seen Wemby running rim to rim and just having to roll right back out to the perimeter because guys aren't getting on the ball. So actually treating him like a real big man instead of an alien freak that's about to be 7'5" on the wing doing hezzy tween sham god into a spin move. Like now you got to have a point guard that's going to treat him like a actual center, and that's going to be great for his development. I didn't see any negatives with it outside of if y'all was going to trade for a bunch of other pieces to try to win, I guess. But Chris Paul, 1 year, 11 mil deal. I don't. I view that as a great move for y'all.
And I agree with you on that point, and that's why I'm saying I'm not expecting much as far as like the production from him, but it's like
True.
that's why I keep harping back to the what I truly expect, which is why I even mentioned it. Like he can sit down with Castle, and I know a lot of people have seen Castle as a tweener, but he's even came man. And I know it's a lot of things that the draft picks can say that don't really hold true, but him coming in starting out saying I can't wait to get back to playing point guard shows me that even though they may not look at him as a point guard initially, his true desires are okay. I'm looking at myself to be the next point guard of whatever team I go to, and we've mentioned Duncan and we've mentioned Robinson for Wemby, and in this situation, Castle will have the benefit of not only just learning from now Chris Paul, but Manu has been a prominent figure for the Spurs organization even since he's retired. So if I can get a 6'6" athletic point guard who is dedicated to the position to learn from Chris Paul and Manu Ginobili, and I can get him to study the tape through and through with Chris Paul of how he ran that offense with the likes of guys like Tyson Chandler, with the likes of guys like uh, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. That's the value that I'm expecting and that I'm wanting to see more from Chris Paul, more so than whatever the box score will show up this year from him. That's what I'm saying.
Mm, I can feel it.
Can I get y'all biggest losers and winners of free agency so far?
I mean, free agency isn't over. I'm looking right now. There are still some names on here that I feel like can help a lot of teams or help guys trying to compete. Uh, so I don't want to say I don't really have a winner. I don't really. No, I'll say the Mavericks. So far, I have the Mavericks being my winner. I like the moves they made. They upgraded the Derrick Jones Jr. position by getting Najee Marshall, in my opinion. Bringing on Klay instead of Tim Hardaway, which I mean, I guess depending on who you ask. I mean, some guys if they're low on Klay, I don't think you can get any lower on somebody than Tim Hardaway, in my opinion. That's J.R. Smith with a shirt on and no Hennessy. So getting Klay to replace him as a shooter while also getting Quentin Grimes too. I like what the Mavericks have done so far.
Okay, see. The answer is OKC and the Knicks. Let's be honest.
Okay,
True.
Yeah,
Well, we were
okay,
talking about
okay.
just free agency, so I mean, I'm Hartenstein versus everything that the Mavericks have done, in my opinion.
Wait, so does free agency not include like
I wasn't
trades?
including trades. No,
Okay,
I was
okay.
I was
But
just
even
including
still,
signings. That's why.
even them signing
Okay, I'm with
Hartenstein
you.
at that price at $30 million, that's the highest market for a big. So, like I said earlier, it moved it back to now how important bigs are that can score and also spread out the floor. So that's what I'm saying. It's good.
Speaking of bigs, W segue. Piccolo sent a nice little power chat of a tweet saying the Knicks are interested in Walker Kessler.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's the big we've been talking about. People
Can
trying
I
to
speak
acquire.
about that real quick? There's two options.
How do you feel about Walker Kessler? Yeah,
you could do two options with this. The two options are one, you could actually trade Sims and 2 draft picks and try to get Walker Kessler. If that doesn't work, then you could go ahead and put in. A lot of people's like, oh, why would you get rid of Mitchell Robinson? Sorry, I like him, but at $14 million, Mitchell Robinson and McBride, or you could do McBride and Sims, trade 2 draft picks, second-round draft picks, get Kessler and Kenny Lofton Jr., have those 2 guys under the contract as well, and then find another guy to help you out in Acapulco, because you're going to have to pay him $2.4 million. So you'll get back around $7 million in the books, and you'll have your rookie signed, and you could just find you a veteran to sign. I think Kessler will help us out because 1 through 5 will be nasty. You'll have Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG, Randall, Mitchell Robinson. Then the bench, you'll have McBride. If he stays or if he goes, you could even put in Tyler Kulik, because a lot of people are saying he's showing promise. Tyler Kulik. Then you have Dante DiVincenzo. Then you also have Josh Hart. Then you have Kenny Lofton Jr., or you could even put in Acapulco there and then have Kessler to come off the bench. Those 5s right there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. With how the Jazz is treating Walker, you doing a whole lot of nothing for nothing, because you can just trade 2 draft picks in the fax machine to get Walker Kessler.
But everybody's saying
they got to make the money work though. They do have to
you got to make the money work, because he's like
maybe
$3
a
million.
teamer, but they don't have to go.
Yeah, he's $3 million, and if we were to trade Sims is like $2 million. So we would have to find a way to make room for that $1 million. So yeah. Like I said, I would go after him. It's not really that hard to go after him. He's valuable. But if push came to shove, that's what I would do. Kessler, yeah, he'll help us out a lot. Back up Mitchell Robinson with the rim protection. And then if Mitchell Robinson gets hurt, Acapulco can move in and we can run small ball. Like, that's a lot of options we have 1 through 10.
I wanted to ask, have you guys seen Kenny Lofton? Skinny Kenny? You guys seen it? How he been working and he not fat no more?
I ain't worried about that nigga, man.
Oh yeah, also I gotta say to your 76ers.
Nah, man. Fat Kenny all day, man. I'm not feeling that skinny Kenny bullshit, man.
He lost aura. He lost aura.
Lost aura with the weight, man. Mars, I
was gonna say
it's like skinny DJ Burns.
Essentially.
I was gonna say congratulations to your 76ers. They got Drummond, they got PG. They look like they're ready to step up next year.
Got Eric Gordon.
Step up.
And they re-signed Kelly Oubre.
We going to the finals.
They re-signed Kelly Oubre, which was
I said
crazy.
This nigga Paul George left the Clippers to form the East Coast Clippers. I'm not moved by this at all. Like, in the slightest, I'm not moved by this.
You don't think they got better than the Bucks, though?
No.
They haven't gotten better than the Bucks.
Sure, but I was low on the Bucks anyway. So, I mean, that's not saying much. A lot of niggas are better than the Bucks. A lot
of teams are not better than the Bucks.
A lot of teams are better than the Bucks, in my opinion.
They're not.
I am not moved by Paul George blaming James Harden for why the fucking Clippers fell apart and then going to form a new Clippers. I'm not moved by it at all in the slightest. We're talking about 65% of Embiid in the playoffs, 70% of PG in the playoffs, and niggas gonna have to get carried by Maxey again? Nah, I'm okay. I'm all right. I feel bad for Tyrese Maxey, if anything.
It's definitely a need a mover. Because so let's say Joel Embiid was to get hurt, you would have Tyrese Maxey and Paul George there to pick up his slack. Because last year he was their whole entire offense. Without Joel Embiid, they had no other guys that could really consistently create their own shot. Paul George gives them that. He gives them some shot creation, some off-ball value. I like Paul George a lot, bro.
Where was that the last 5 years? Where all that shit you're talking about right now? Where was it the last 5 years?
Well, this is a different situation.
Why would it change? Because he's in the same situation. Why would
he's not in the same situation?
So his role
he's going to be a third option.
Has his role changed?
He went from a second option to a third option.
So when Embiid gets hurt, what option will he be then?
The second option.
Okay, so has his role changed?
When Kawhi got hurt, he was the first option.
Cap.
Who? When Kawhi got hurt, who was the first option for the Clippers? Definitely wasn't
James
James
Harden.
James Harden. All right. Okay.
Harden.
Okay. I don't think James Harden was the first option for the Clippers, bro.
Well, okay. What does option mean? What does option mean?
I think for option, in my opinion, first option I think is scoring option. So whoever is the first scoring option. James Harden was the first scoring option that
on multiple definitions of what the first option is. James Harden's gonna fit more of them. So let's just move this.
I don't think James Harden was the. I think they was trying to go through Paul George, but he really couldn't.
Initial playmaker, initial creator, James Harden. Initial top of the queue, brings the ball up the court. James Harden, keep him moving.
James Harden was their best player, first option, whatever you want to call it.
He played better, but I think the first option was Paul George.
Same Paul George that wouldn't.
And you know what? Even if that's true, that speaks even more to what I'm saying. That if we were going to sit here and call Paul George, he was supposed to be the first option, and everybody's sitting here telling you, nah, James looked like the second option. I mean, James looked like the first option. That shows you how bad of a first option he was being. But my thing with Paul George is, this nigga's he's 6'8", Dame Lillard, man. Niggas ducking the grind.
So now Paul George in your hate club now. Paul George in your
this is crazy.
No. I'm not gonna lie. Paul George did not join the hate club until I seen that clip of him on his podcast, essentially just ducking, wanting to blame James Harden. Like that's really pissed me off. He said so many things just to say, I'm not trying to blame James, but everything went downhill when James got here. You know, we had to give up all our defense, all our hard work guys, all our dirty work guys. He said dirty work like 18 times. You know, dirty work. And then me and Kawhi got to play more dirty. We got to do more dirty work shit. So now we can't score for it. We got dirty work and score. A lot of fucking complaining for a nigga getting paid that much money and supposed to be that level of player. In my opinion, when you're that level of player, it comes with a certain level of expectation. And you sitting here on your podcast, bitching, moaning, complaining about having to do your damn job, really pisses me off.
I'm not gonna lie.
Why doesn't anyone talk about Kawhi just being really not available in the playoffs?
That was really one of the most pathetic
statements I've ever seen. We've always said it. We've always
we kind of accept.
We've always blamed Kawhi.
It's a prerequisite. You don't even have to say it. It's just
an NBA wing got on a high horse and complained about boxing out, complained about getting rebounds, complained about guarding his matchup consistently, because they did not lose. He's talking about they lost the dirty work. Covington deadass didn't play.
Okay.
They lost a singular rotational player. This nigga was stealing up all those runs.
Hey, Nicholas Batum and KJ Martin
is the only Batum is the only
KJ Martin.
He said,
Domo just saying this is what made him start hating Paul George.
Nigga saying and Covington he was not playing.
Well, that's why Domo hates him, because Paul George just be chatting.
No, I agree. I'm saying. I thought it was, honestly,
you guys are on the same side of.
I'm about to say the way he said it at first, I was like, "Damn, I ain't know."
I thought it was honestly pathetic that he did that, and it's probably the most loser shit I've ever heard an NBA player say. And niggas are gonna say they're younger, but has Jason Tatum ever complained about boxing out and getting rebounds and guarding bigger matchups?
He just don't have to box out, so he chill.
I'm about to say, yeah, man, that uncontested rebound rate is crazy.
Why'd you do that?
No, but Jason Tate be doing the extra stuff that Paul George seemed to be complaining about. So that's
even
Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, even like Jimmy Butler, bro. Like, I never seen Jimmy complain about, at times playing the forward. I've never seen Jimmy complain about having to guard up a matchup,
having to play more defense. Oh my God, I gotta play more defense.
I gotta do my job.
Oh man, I'm the second highest paid player on my team. I gotta have more responsibilities. Man, I gotta go somewhere where that's not the case. Let me go to the fucking Philadelphia 76ers, where literally, I'm going here to be Tobias Harris, and by the end of the season, y'all gonna ask me to be Paul George. I don't
Tobias
get it.
Harris.
Okay, first of all,
definitely trolling with
this season. This year is gonna be the year Embiid's healthy. So all of this.
Here we go with this shit again.
Embiid gonna be available. So none of this matters.
10 years of being unhealthy tells me you're just an unhealthy nigga. If you're injured 10 straight seasons, nigga, you're just hurt. I'm
The
sorry.
victory laps
You're
I'm gonna
different.
run for the one healthy
Hey,
postseason is gonna be so
promise.
crazy.
If year 10 is his healthy year, Mars, you got it.
Hey man, I'm telling you, I told you, man.
In no
The
sense of the word,
25
man.
playoffs.
Assuming health, you think they're good enough to beat Boston?
Assuming health.
I know. It's a big if.
When we're healthy, we're going to the finals. When we're healthy, we're going to the finals.
He is crazy.
He was healthy in 20. He was not healthy. He was not healthy in 2020, was he?
He was, but he got
was
the
healthy. But Ben Simmons didn't Ben Simmons get hurt injured in 2020?
Ben Simmons got hurt.
Oh Lord, have
they
mercy.
weren't healthy, but he was healthy. The only postseason that Joel Embiid himself has been healthy in is
short season. I'm about to say I'm looking like
he got short season, 4 months off.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Hey, chat. You got me. 2020 was his healthy year. Just like it was damn near everyone's healthy year because the season got cut halfway short. You got me. Hey, you got it.
I don't need your excuses. He was healthy. He was healthy.
So 9 years of full seasons, this nigga ain't been healthy. 1 year of a shortened year, he's been. Wait, so 21 was a shortened year too. Did he get? He was hurt in 21.
Torn meniscus.
Yep. So he couldn't even be healthy in 2 straight shortened seasons. Crazy.
Nah, irrelevant. 2025, you're gonna be healthy.
To be fair,
we're gonna go on that playoff run.
A lot of
players got hurt. Yeah, a lot of did, but that's not helping my agenda. My agenda right now is that niggas injury prone.
Mars, can I ask you a quick question?
Of course, you can ask me a quick question.
All right. What do you think the value of how the league is moving forward going to be? Is it going to be more traditional bigs, or are we going to still consistently see stretch bigs and wings?
I think the traditional big, which I guess is what the defensive anchor post player, that big, I don't think that's going to be around anymore. But I think the value of bigs who can have versatility defensively, protect the rim, run DHO, short roll playmaking, all those connective things, that's going to be extremely valuable. So someone said Derek Lively. Derek Lively's not a traditional big. He's the somewhat modern version of a big.
He's a rim runner.
But he's not traditional. Unless you'd call DeAndre Jordan a traditional big. Derek Lively's better than DeAndre Jordan in terms of his offensive skill. But would people consider DeAndre Jordan the traditional big, or is a traditional big more
he's
like
not a traditional big,
offensively capable? I guess is what I'm asking.
He has no like for a traditional big. Shouldn't you have to have at least somewhat of a back-to-basket game?
Yeah, that's all. Like is DeAndre
is a bit more traditional. The reason why I ask is like
Embiid is a traditional big who has
Embiid's more traditional than DeAndre Jordan is.
Yeah.
So like, is traditional? Do you need offensive game to be a traditional big, or are we just talking about drop coverage big, rim runner, lob threat?
I think you just need a post game.
That's why. That's why.
Because
I
when
don't
you
know
say
what
when you say like a rim runner, right? Like part of the reason that archetype exists is because we run more pick and roll, and like there's actually lanes to roll versus like when in the 80s or the 90s they would get a ball screen, but they were getting a ball screen just so they could set up a post up, or that they could clear out for like illegal defense reasons for like a driving like that's different. The game is just like so much different. I guess like teams tried to like switch a little bit more to stop that from happening, but guards got skilled enough to win on the island. So are these bigs really non-traditional, or does the game just not allow them to play that role? Like, is Donovan Clingan not a traditional big?
That's the question I'm asking. I don't know what makes a big traditional, because
no, like for me, Embiid is like a traditional big, back to basket, get to his spot, spins, but he can shoot the long ball. There's things that he adds to the game. But if you have a very high post presence, to me, that's a traditional big, because that's what they were mostly known for. But if you go even Rudy Gobert, where another traditional big, but that's defensively, so you have your two different versions. Yeah. I just think the big is basically a guy who protects the rim, and he either can help you on offense in a post game, or they basically good at rebounding.
Yeah, I think the game is just calling for more versatility. I think that's really what it is.
That's pretty much what I was
asking. Versatility is not really the definition of a traditional big.
I think
yeah. You got it. Go ahead.
No, I just think the bigs are the last position to adapt to this spread out era. You know what I mean? I think obviously point guards, the smaller the player, the more versatile they will be naturally, just because they probably have just more skills or ball skills. But I just think the big is the last position that evolved, so to speak. And so because now the bigs have evolved, we've got Embiid, Jokic, Giannis. These are the premier players in the league now. Like out of the top 6 players in the league, they take up 3 of the spots. Now it's become a premium to have a big to contend with these guys because they're going to be most likely the ones to advance far in the playoffs. So I think it's just the last position to evolve. Because you think about it, do you think about it, the stretch 4 came before the stretch big, and then before that the threes evolved. We had the era of the threes: KD, Bron, Kawhi, Paul George. They came into the league. They ushered in a new era of small forwards, and then now we're ushering in a new era of bigs.
So what Jay said it in the chat. That's why I was thinking about 2 guards. What have shooting guards evolved to?
Well, I think shooting guards have always been. They've had to do less evolution because they've always been scorers and perimeter scorers. You know what I mean? So I don't think they had to do as much. Same thing with point guards. Like, I don't think point guards had to have evolved to a different portion, like unilaterally, as much as bigs or fours have.
You don't feel that way?
I was gonna say the traditional shooting guard.
The rise of heliocentrism and the dual threat point guard combo guard.
I feel like
but they evolved first.
I was gonna say
you're saying they evolved
the
first,
location,
though, but I feel like we're getting away from like Ish Smith. We're getting away from like these point guards whose sole job is to set the table. If you're an NBA point guard, either you're a high caliber offensive player, like you can, like a team can run offense through you at a championship level, or you really defend and you're basically a 2 on offense, but you set the table at times, like Marcus Smart, for example. Like there aren't too many just like straight up Ish Smiths in this world anymore. I feel like that's the major evolution.
I'll say the general evolution I'm talking about is doing your traditional role and then also being able to hit the 3, right? Like Drew, right? Like Drew does he's a defensive point guard, right? I don't know if he sets the table as much as a quote unquote.
But Drew is a 2.
I was just gonna say a traditional shooting guard back in the day was just a guy who could just basically be set and shoot on the move, on and off ball. But what it moved into today's game is basically, and I hate to bring this up, but it's about the Jordan era where you had a guard attacking the mid-range to where now the shooting guard has to have multiple locations, mid-range and as well as a 3-point shot. So it's more advanced with just the shooting guard being advanced as far as scoring. They have to score with and without the ball as opposed to back in the day they were more set in their spot, 1-2 dribble, shoot, or come off of a backdoor screen and be in action. Now you're asking your shooting guard to think like a point guard and play like a small forward. So that's what's actually been happening with the shooting guard. So people think, oh, it's a combo guard. No, it's just that's what it evolved to where now you have 2 options at the guard position in scoring and passing. Sorry.
No, you're right.
I'm trying to think.
Traditions have died, is how I'm
that's what pretty much what we're saying. Because
I think
when you get a guy like even let's, like you said, with the small forward and everything transitioning, you have a wave of players creating that type of image. And the ones that make it are the ones that everyone's trying to follow. So if you look at Jordan, that's what made Jordan the best. Jordan started off as a guard, and he was attacking the middle paint where the bigs were. He's like, hey, this is my area. And he ran it there for as long as he did. That's why a lot of people my age like Jordan, because he didn't just wait outside. He went down low. That opened up the market for more guys getting their shots down low too. So for me, the game is developing to where we don't even see how fast it's changing, but it's going in a good direction. That's why I asked, what do you think the bigs are going to be next?
I'm about to say,
Isaiah Hartenstein.
The way I'm thinking about it, when I'm really sitting here thinking about it, I feel like a lot of teams have 2 combo guards in the backcourt now.
Yeah.
Like essentially it's 2 combo guards versus, because I was going to say the guard position basically dissolved into one thing. So your point guard and your shooting guard essentially became the same role. It's the same guy, same role. And then that 2 essentially become, now teams are running with 2 threes. But now that I'm thinking about a lot of these teams, they have 2 combo guards in the backcourt a lot of the times. Or at least from what I'm thinking. You can find an example of a team that has that 1 combo guard and then you have essentially 2 threes on offense. But, well, 2 threes in general. But for a lot of teams, especially when I'm thinking about this past playoffs, Dallas, 2 combo guards. Indiana, 2 combo.
Cavs
I
when
don't know if I would say.
Garland was there.
I'm about to say. Am I going to say Reese is a combo guard? I guess in terms of
Indiana
how
just had a lot of guard play.
Yeah,
Nah, Pistons do have a combo guard, but
Reese
they
is
not in the playoffs.
more combo guard than the 2000s.
I think he's more traditional. I mean, and I feel like he's a tweener because if you're looking at today's game, he's more traditional than combo guard. But if we go back to 2005, I guess they would consider him more combo guard than traditional. So I feel like he's a tweener, but that's why I was like 2 combo guards because it boiled down to Reese and Nimbard. Well, originally it was Reese and Benedict Mathurin. I want to say Mathurin was there too, right? Mm-hmm. Mathurin was there too. I don't think Mathurin's a combo guard, so he's more of a.
How about Herb Jones?
Traditional too, but Herb Jones is a 3. Is he not? Am I bugging?
I know, but I'm saying like he was supposed to be the way he developed his game. What would you consider him to be? Like a comboist? Because remember, everybody keeps talking about like I don't know what a 3 and D is. Like I'm still don't understand a 3 wing. That's why I'm asking you. Like, what is he?
Oh no, he's a 3 and D wing. That's an okay. So his only unless somebody can tell me.
Do we need to pull up the point Herb in college? Is that what we need to pull up?
Here we go.
Do I need to pull up point Herb?
You know everybody's point college.
Do I need to pull up point Herb at Alabama? Is that what I need to do?
Please show me point Herb, please. I need to see it.
If we weren't streaming to YouTube, I would have pulled up.
I need to see point Herb at Alabama. I didn't even
real ones know about point Herb,
but
man.
Herb Jones's role of offense is nigga shoot this open shot. Okay. Essentially, I don't see him really initiating that much. I don't see him really self-creating too much. He genuinely is. Shoot this open 3. And then on defense, hey, be the best defender on the floor any given time.
Okay.
That's genuinely what 3 and D is. Unless, again, someone correct me if I'm bugging.
Yo,
I wonder if
I saw someone called Steve Novak, the prototype 3 and D player. So
and I can tell you that nigga's never seen Steve Novak play basketball a day in his life. That's crazy.
I seen that. I was like, yeah, I lost track of what 3 and D meant when Steve Novak fit the bill. I was like, oh, okay. Clearly, I don't know basketball. So
I wonder if the Celtics rise, well, Celtics and the Pacers will change that a little bit, where like the stationary 3 and D players aren't as valuable because
I don't feel like those exist anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They've already died out. They've already
died out.
Like I feel like the
the
PJ
Celtics
Tuckers
have
of the
4
world are
people
already
getting
dead.
attacked. Yeah,
Isaac Okoro is still kicking, but he's added more to his game. But
he's not a stationary shooter. Like, I mean, he can do. I don't think he's added anything. Like not added anything. He's always gotten better. He's been in the league, but he was always like driver, downhill, passer.
But the role Cleveland put him in.
That's what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But now they're allowing him to do more. Do we need to bring up Point Okoro at Auburn?
That's another.
Nigga, everybody wasn't playing point guard at college, Mark.
I didn't say point guard at college. I swear to God, he did.
Anyone who watched Okoro at Auburn, was there not playmaking? Anyone who watched Okoro at Auburn can tell me he was playmaking.
I'm gonna bring up Mark Williams. Oh man, I don't know if it's passing like that. Here, Mars. Do I need to bring up point Mark at Purdue? Do I need to bring up the point Mark highlight? Like Jesus Christ.
Purdue is crazy, bro.
Yeah, Purdue as well.
I don't know where he went. Fuck it. I don't know.
Aren't you a UNC fan? He went to Duke.
Do you think I know every nigga that goes to Duke because I'm a UNC fan? Fuck them niggas. I don't be learning none of them niggas.
First round nigga went to Duke. I think you would know.
Bro, do you not, Eli? Do you not realize? Do you not?
And he was there
like
2 years.
Do you not realize how many niggas I end up realizing went to Duke that I did not know went to Duke when they were?
Give me an example, bro.
He ain't no Paolo went to Duke. He ain't no Paolo.
No, I didn't. No, I knew Paolo went to Duke. No, relax. Hold on now. Hold there, buddy. An example of somebody that went to Duke that I didn't know went to Duke.
Yeah.
Nolan Smith.
It's kind of random.
Hey,
I don't even know what that is.
He gave you an example.
Like Mark is like.
How long was Nolan Smith in there?
A couple years.
Mars, what do you think about what Warriors are doing in the free agency market?
I think the Warriors are doing what I expected them to do. Incompetence.
Do you think the criticism is valid that for not including coming in the with Paul George deal? Because I don't understand why should they include him.
Well, if they want him, they should have included him. But if they don't want him,
And
I mean,
I don't understand the hype behind Paul George suddenly. They are treating him like Giannis, that he will change the franchise. He will come. They will be suddenly. So they'll suddenly become contenders. What is? Man, I didn't know Paul George is that good of a player before the free agency started.
yeah, he's not Giannis. Domo disappeared on us. Damn. Domo.
Why don't they want to include that? Who the fuck do they think
Kaminga's
gonna be, bro?
I was just gonna say
Paul
Kaminga's gonna be
George.
Kawhi.
Oh, you're talking
Kaminga's
about
gonna be
Kuminga.
Kawhi Leonard. What are we talking about?
I would rather give up coming in any kind of lottery deal if they can pull it
Hey,
off.
coach should send
I
a
was
power
like-
check. He said you're cooking, so shout out to you, man. You're cooking.
I
Teams
was gonna
hold
say,
on to those young
Mars, you
players.
think that falls on the
so
coaching?
long, bro.
What happened in the Golden State? How bad of a coach Steve Kerr is? Because I think he's starting to deteriorate. Like what y'all been saying the last 2 years of how they've been running it without draft picks and stuff. I think is it about time that Kerr actually gets some of the blame going on there?
I think
He's
it's
been
more on the front
getting it.
office. I think it's more on the front office than the coaching. I don't think Steve Kerr's the worst coach ever. Now, Corey Joseph minutes this year was interesting, but I don't think he's the worst coach ever. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think the front office missed on some draft picks, so that hurt. The James Wiseman pick. Shout out to James Wiseman in Indiana. He's going to revive his career. Shout out to him. Even like you could argue the Kuminga pick for a team that was quote unquote trying to compete. That didn't make sense because Kuminga is one of the further away prospects coming out of the G League, because especially when you look at some of the players that were after him. Moses Moody, I think, was a solid pick at 14. I'm not doing hindsight.
Some of the players after him, who went directly after him? Wasn't it Franz?
Franz was right after. Giddy was 6, Kuminga 7,
Giddy,
Franz 8,
Kuminga,
right?
Franz, and then who went 9?
9 and 21.
I was
Davion,
like,
right?
21 draft?
Davion to the Kings. Yeah.
Davion, and then 10 was Zaire Williams because that's a bad pick. But
James
like,
Book Knight at 11, Josh Primo 12, Durant.
and I'm not doing revisionist history on this Moody pick because like, let's be honest, I was higher on Corey Kispert, but like this Sengun thing, I'm not hearing everyone be like, oh, well, they should have took Sengun. People weren't locked in on Sengun coming out of Turkey for us, so I'm not hearing that everyone knew about Sengun. He was a 6'9" person who they were questioning where he was going to play in the league. Was he a 4?
People had his concerns, but that wasn't too far outside of his range.
Yeah, it was viable, but I'm not hearing that everyone's
And
like,
I
oh,
actually like
Sengun was the
Moody.
pick. Like, I'm sorry.
I think I liked
you didn't
Moody at the time. At least I liked Moody the most out of the group of players you named. I mean, you could argue that I'm wrong in hindsight, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not.
Kemba Walker
I
just
don't-
retired. Wow.
Oh, he not playing EuroLeague no more. Kemba
Yeah, he
Walker
just
retired. Shout out
retired.
to Kemba, man.
Boy, when I seen Jabari
Fame.
Parker crying in that interview, I was like, yeah, that is not the life for a lot of.
I don't even
niggas
think
over
Kemba
there.
was starting over there. I think he was playing limited minutes. I think.
Was he?
Could be
Didn't he drop like 30 or some shit over there? 30,
Let me fact check before I just found out I'm lying to everyone. Kemba. Let's see what Kemba was doing. We don't want to lie to the people. I would never do such a thing. But yeah, I think the Warriors just not missed on some draft picks. I think they just made the wrong picks for where they were or where they were trying to be as a franchise. He was playing 11 minutes a game for Monaco. So do that what you will.
If you are Warriors, how many young players do you give up in a trade?
But if I'm trying to win, I give up all of them.
That's what I was thinking. That give all of them to Utah.
If I'm trying to win, I give them all up. But if I'm not trying to win, I give up Steph and Draymond. But Steph.
But I don't think Steph leaving Golden State will benefit him because I don't think he will win anywhere else.
It depends where he goes. Where can he go?
We'll take him in Houston for Fred VanVleet.
That kind of deal has to happen. That Golden State is so faithful that they just give away Steph. That you go to a team, they don't have to give anything, so you can win.
Yeah, exactly. We do that.
I mean, is that not what he would demand? And
no funny shit. How is
that? They're not gonna send him to Charlotte for them. Although Charlotte, Steph.
But if they send him to Charlotte for LaMelo, then he's not gonna win either. So rather than stay in Golden State.
I have a question. If Steph got traded to the Sixers, would it take too much and not make them contenders anymore after the trade?
I know
it's not going to happen. I'm just thinking.
They definitely have to give up Maxey for sure.
You give up Maxey. Who else? What other young guys they got on the roster? Ricky Council.
I was like, you guys got to give up picks, and you're gonna have to give up some of your bench. Wait, hold on. It's Steph Curry, and plus you guys already got PG plus Embiid plus Maxey. You're gonna have to give up some serious stuff.
You definitely giving up Maxey.
No, I'm not saying Maxey, but I'm just saying you're gonna lose.
It has to.
No, but if you could, I don't know if this is possible. If you could somehow keep Steph, PG, and Embiid,
but
that's good.
They were one Max. They wouldn't want PG.
I think it.
No, I'm saying
it
you
will
give
be
up
Phoenix,
Maxey.
it's a Suns type of situation. Then they will have those 3 players and nobody else.
I like it.
I don't know where he would go. I don't think it would work. I don't know where Steph could go.
Man, it's literally Phoenix Suns then. KD.
But yeah, I don't think. I think Steph's done winning. I think the Warriors, Steph, however, they're done winning. I think Steph isn't winning in Golden State. I'm probably not winning elsewhere. Depend with how much it takes to go get Steph. So I mean, but 4 rings is cool. But I was thinking about this yesterday, maybe this morning. I don't know. At what point do we think it's better for a player to not be great straight away? Like, you got the sense of LeBron came in and they were in the finals 4 years later. And that kind of messed everything up because now they didn't really have lottery.
That's why I said give Victor, not to give Victor 35. So, Domo, I see you laughing, man. You can laugh.
No. I was laughing at you cut him off. That's crazy.
No. I don't mind. You can laugh at my accent, man.
No.
Yo.
I was laughing because you cut him off. I was chilling this whole time.
No, man. I'm chill. You can laugh, man. You don't have to turn on the camera.
He ain't even cut me off. Domo just using that as an excuse.
Hey, Mars.
My God.
Mars, I don't know if you remember, but I asked you something similar to this a while ago. I said, would it have been beneficial for a guy like LeBron or Luka to like get injured for like 1 year? Nothing like too damaging where it's like you can't play anymore.
A hypothetical injury where they come back and they're just as good
they can come back and
it's like Steph Curry.
They just injure for 1 whole year and get a lottery pick.
Yeah, like Steph's broken hand in 2020 that was meant to get them LaMelo. That time.
Yeah, just so
yeah,
one year.
Can help. Yeah, that can help. But what I was getting at was Steph not being Steph early on and then signing that 4-year, $44 million contract.
Helped them out so much.
Is what allowed Golden State to go get KD and do all of the things they did. So, Steph gets held in such high regard because of the 4 champions, like large part because of the championships and everything he was able to achieve. But that doesn't happen if Steph is a max contract guy off his rookie deal. So, at what point are people ranking Steph higher all the time? Because of the fact he wasn't that good early on. Or not that he wasn't that good, because of the question marks he had early on, which ended up helping his legacy in the long run. Because if he signs a rookie max extension, which I don't know where it would have been at the time, 100 and something million, I don't know. They don't get Kevin Durant. They're now the Warriors of Steph, Klay, and Draymond. That's what they are long term. They still win that 15 ring, obviously. Well, you don't know, obviously, because do they get Iguodala, all of those? There's questions. But they can still win in 15. They can still be a contender. But the reason Steph and that dynasty is held in such high regard is because of the 4 championships. You don't get 4 championships if Steph doesn't sign that 4-year, $44 million. So, is Steph being overvalued in his all-time ranking because he wasn't paid like LeBron was off his rookie contract? Do you get what I'm asking?
Yeah,
I get what you're asking. And at least to me, I don't think I'm gonna attribute that to him not being as great early on more than I will attribute it to the Warriors front office being a good front office or great front office. Because you can have a guy that doesn't sign the Supermax or the rookie Supermax or rookie max, whatever it is, and they still go out there and fumble, bringing a guy on, signing guys, drafting guys, putting you in a position to get a Kevin Durant. If the Warriors were incompetent, they wouldn't have went out there and they probably wouldn't have drafted a Klay to be next to Steph. They probably wouldn't have had Draymond on the roster to implement into being his championship unit, which would have led to them losing to the Thunder and gave Kevin Durant no reason to leave the Thunder, because now you're in the finals and potentially can beat and win a championship in 16. And what's the point of leaving at that point? You stay in. Now Kevin Durant never leaves, and we're not having this conversation. So It's
to
more
be
on the
fair though,
franchise than it is the players, in my
to
But
be
opinion.
then,
fair though,
but then
But
also
do
don't
you,
forget about Klay too that year, because that year they wanted to get rid of Klay the year before, and then they decided to keep them together. So it wasn't just
because of
Steph; it was actually the collection of him and Klay
yeah.
staying there because he was on the
I'm
trading
for,
block.
And it's
I'm
also
for
not like they started Draymond out of
Yeah,
like
so
their own talent
so
evaluation. They started him
Mhm.
because of injuries, and
so
he proved himself. But
so for me, it's like
I'm for the. Oh, never mind. Go
no.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, so for me, whether he started off late or early, the fact is he won a championship prior to him having KD. He won one after KD. He's shown he's worked as a basketball talent and a player. So there's not really much he can do, but just do what he wants to do. If Steph wants to play another 3 years, let him, because he's earned that. So for me, I think he's gonna be great because of what he did past, and I think that he still has something left in his tank for present. May not be him dropping, 30 or something crazy, but we'll get some good, exciting games out of him and some good stuff. So, like I said, I don't think that he's going to fall off from being great.
Yeah, I don't know
I,
how
I
far he
but
falls from.
but do you
oh.
think that we saw the best case scenario play out for Steph?
Oh
Even
yeah,
so, his
oh
drop
in his
off,
yeah.
career, this is probably the best case scenario. Right
but
now, it's
even so, his drop off is still better than like 90% of the league as far as what he could bring. So it's like, yeah, we're not seeing Steph at his complete level. It's like, I hate to say this, but look at KD. We all know KD ain't the same player he is, but he still shoots the ball well. He still gets into rhythm, and we still can like it. Even LeBron. Some things that they do is just going to be what they do. It's just not going to be that high. But it's still going to be better than most people in the league.
Mars, do you think the benefit is worse than the things that held him back? Like, let's say if you saw how that was a good scenario that played out for him. What about the other two unfortunate scenarios of uh, him losing in 2016, injuries or whatever, and injuries in 2019? Like, do you think it was? You get what I'm
What if
saying?
the
Like,
you don't
what
get
if
yeah,
the
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 injuries in
scenario?
2019 as a
the
bad thing when you
the
were
19
able to
injuries.
sign KD.
Yeah, the 19 injuries. No, because they had Kevin Durant. So that's not happening without Steph
okay, I see
having that
what you're saying.
minimum contract. So the 16, yeah, you could say, and there's a this for the people who said the contracts don't matter. I'm sorry, you
They
can't
do.
tell me contracts don't matter and you value rings when you rank players, because the roster construction is what wins championships. So if you value rings when you rank players, you can't tell me contracts and roster construction are irrelevant things. Steph Curry undoubtedly was able to benefit from roster construction because he had a lesser contract than what he was worth when he was winning unanimous MVPs on $11 million contracts. That's undoubtable. That's an undoubtable fact that he benefited from the fact in terms of legacy from that. So if you value rings, don't tell me contracts don't matter. That's ridiculous. I don't. So I'm just talking about the player. But I think Steph, there's another world where they win in 15 and 16 because they get lucky with the Cavs being hurt in 15. And then they stay fully healthy in 16 and win that chip too. And then they don't even need Kevin Durant. And Steph has 2 rings prior to Kevin Durant's free agency. And maybe he's looked at more favorably because he's a unanimous MVP who won a championship. So maybe he's looked at more favorably. But there's also the world that existed, which is Steph took less money. They won a championship, lost, got Kevin Durant, won 2 more. He leaves. They go win 1 in 2022, which is like the crowning moment of Steph. That's what most people like elevate him to top 10 for. But none of that happens if Steph gets a max rookie extension in 2012. None of that happens.
I love that year, 2015.
I think if you value championships, I think it's disingenuous to ignore the fact that Steph benefited from the fact that he got less money early on, which allowed him to continue a dynasty that maybe wouldn't have been a dynasty, would have just been a perennial contender. And there's nothing wrong with being a perennial contender, but let's not act like you don't have Steph in this upper echelon because he has 4 championships. If he only had 2, you probably wouldn't have him that high. Oh, Mo Wagner's staying in Orlando.
But Mars, I got a good question. How do you feel? How do you feel? Why do you feel that Steph Curry loses his value? Because before he won his championship and his MVP seasons and what he was doing, he was stepping up as a guard. So even if he won 2 championships, I think his value for what he did when his team needed him, whether it was with KD, I think that Curry made enough of an impact to where he doesn't need to be, you know what I'm saying? Like he lost his legacy or anything, whether he won 2 or 4 to me. Because what he did to win the first championship And then in 2021, when everyone's like, "Oh, Steph ain't who he is," he's like, "Excuse me." You see what I'm saying? Like every time he got challenged, you saw a different side of him. So for me, I think that even if it doesn't matter if he went 4-2. I'm just saying I think that Steph Curry is.
That's how you internalize that 2022 run, though.
Yo, you don't understand, man. Like he was like every time I went, even in when the first one he won, I went against Steph. I was like, he's a good player, but I don't think he's a champion. And when I saw him do what he did, I was like, I know he had MVP talent, but damn, this guy is showing me more than what I expected. So for me, and then he did it back with winning 2 championships, being the lead guy, and doing it without KD. Can't take that away from him.
Yeah, I moved Steph top 10 after 2021, even though he lost. But that was
would he have been in your top 10 if he doesn't have 3 rings?
If he only had 2, like in your scenario.
No, in 2021 he only has 1.
But you said he would win. Well, I probably still, bro. In 2021, I was very, very. I was one of those people. I'm still kind of on it now, but I wasn't as pushing it back then. That I think 2021 is probably the best I've seen him. I think I still would probably have him where I have him. I don't even know where I have him, but from about 9 to 12, probably around. I probably still would have him around there.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I'm only asking this for the people who engage in like ring culture or this guy has this many rings. Everyone knows I'm not factoring in rings when I'm judging players, so this doesn't hold any weight to me. But I just feel like if you do value rings, I think you're missing something if you're not factoring in pay cuts and roster construction. Like even the Heat tools, LeBron and D Wade taking slightly less so that they can fit in the third player. That's a big reason why they won 2 championships. They don't win 2 championships if they don't take less money. So like that's what roster construction matters.
Yeah, so did Haslam. Haslam also took a pay cut from, I think it was the Bucks he was supposed to go to, but he decided.
Well, he took that because he was gone otherwise.
But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people who had to reconstruct as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Roster construction plays a heavy part in rings. So if you're gonna heavily value rings, you ignoring how these rosters are constructed, I think is disingenuous. Someone asked why rings don't matter to me. Because it's a team sport. So if I'm judging an individual and I see all of the things that go into winning a championship, I'm not then going to hold it against him that he didn't win. Like the Nuggets right now are doing everything they can to not win another chip. Am I going to be like, Jokic ain't that good because, hey, the Nuggets only won 1, when I'm seeing like they're losing key pieces every year and the rest of the league is getting better, but I'm meant to be nice on Jokic? No, I'm not going to do that. Someone else can do that. That's their prerogative. I'm not doing that. So that's why.
How far do you think Steph would drop if, let's just say, he wins 1 or 2?
He's still below KD.
You think so? But KD wouldn't win any
until the 2022 championship.
But see, why is that?
What do he be though?
Yeah, because I feel like KD got
people didn't put Steph above KD until 22.
No.
Do you think?
I'm not doing revisionist history of people right now.
No, okay.
Steph didn't pass KD for the consensus until 2022.
Yeah.
I'm not about to go through revisionist.
That was mostly because
I'm not doing.
I don't remember.
I'm not.
I don't know about that.
Don't tell me that you had Steph over KD. I don't care. I said the consensus.
Okay.
The consensus did not put Steph above KD.
I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm thinking of the consensus of people that was strictly hating on Kevin Durant. I'm not thinking about people being objective. Maybe I'm just thinking about all the niggas I seen on my timeline. I'm like, nah, fuck that nigga Kevin Durant. He dick sucking Curry. There was a lot of niggas saying Curry over KD. But once you put the objective hat on, maybe you're right. Maybe objectively,
the consensus was definitely KD over Curry. I can't believe
the fact that you guys are trying to, the fact you
especially because KD had won those 2 Finals MVPs with Curry.
I vividly remember 2017, KD was being called the best player on the planet. With Steph
They would say he was better.
That was what was happening.
Literally 2018.
Yeah, in 2018, he did it again. Now everyone was saying LeBron was the best player. But everyone was saying KD was better than Steph. That was the consensus.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah.
2019, KD goes down and they lose. And the consensus was Steph couldn't do it without Kevin Durant. That was the consensus. In 2020, they both don't play. So no one moved. everyone was just saying the same. In 2021, I'm sorry, I'm going through the whole timeline. In 2021, Steph missed the playoffs, had his great year, but everyone was praising Steph, rightfully so. Then KD was the best player in the playoffs, and they said he would have won a ring if his foot was a size smaller. So Steph was still below Kevin Durant. Then 2022 happens, and everyone switched up. You guys aren't about to trick me into saying everyone had Steph over KD the whole time. No, they didn't.
In 2017, Kevin Durant
nobody
goes
had
out and wins Finals MVP. Niggas come out and say Kevin Durant is the best player in the finals. Kevin Durant is the best player on the Warriors. The counter, that was not the consensus because there was a loud majority of people, not minority. There was a lot, maybe it was a minority. I don't even want to say minority or majority. Let me not throw those terms out there. But there was a loud amount of, a lot of people, a loud section of people who were saying, how is the guy
Oh man, he's spit.
that was beaten? And now I'm waiting to come back. Am I back yet?
Yeah.
you good, bro.
How is the guy that was beaten last year and joined the team this year the best player on said team? That was the conversation going on. Whatever side of the convo you were on, not arguing what side of the convo I was on or anything like that. That was the conversation. 17, 18. He wins Finals MVP again. And Mars, you're right. More people get on the side of nah. Outside of LeBron going buku, J.R. Smith fucking up, Kevin Durant is the best player on the Warriors. That conversation got louder. People got quieter on the how does Kevin Durant join his team and be better trained. It got quieter. 19, I give it to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I tuned the fuck out once niggas start getting hurt. So you got that. I got out of basketball conversations. I won't worry about shit because niggas is injured. What are we talking about? This is an asterisk title. So if that was the consensus of 19, I give you that. I won't argue 19 with you. And after that nigga left, it was strictly nigga. Neither one of these niggas is winning. I don't really give a fuck who better.
I don't think there's ever been a moment Steph was over. Like the consensus, it was always KD over Steph for their whole careers, pretty much. Since they were both in their prime, it was always KD over Steph. In 2016, 2015, 2017,
that is not true.
No, that's
true.
But the thing about that
was definitely KD over Steph.
The thing about that scenario, though,
especially after
is
2017.
the reason that KD was over Steph was because of those Finals MVPs. If Steph wins both of those Finals MVPs, people would say Steph is better than KD.
Yes, they would have.
Just for simply that.
Yeah.
So that's why when I asked the scenario of if KD wouldn't have rings hypothetically in that scenario, well, maybe he does. But if Steph has 2 and KD has none, if KD doesn't go to the Warriors, niggas are 100% putting Steph over KD. Them Finals MVP.
If he gets the 2020
people do that
ring, yeah, probably. Okay, someone said I hate generalizing, but I'm generalizing the opinion. Do you know what consensus means? Are you what? If I'm talking about the consensus, like, of course I'm gonna have to talk about what the consensus was, which means I'm gonna be generalizing. That doesn't mean everyone had KD over Steph, but the consensus was KD over Steph. Like, maybe I never said no. I had Steph over KD. Domo is saying he had Steph over KD. But I remember having to argue that Steph was over KD. So you're not about to tell me that everyone just knew Steph was over KD when I was there arguing and people arguing, multiple people saying Steph was better than KD because everyone's picking KD when in 2015, KD was hurt and Steph wins MVP. No one was saying Steph was better than KD, even when KD was the year because he was hurt.
And let me say this.
16 is like the first year it even started. And then they went on the same team, and then everyone went back to saying it was KD again.
Real quick. Let me just say, and I'm realizing this for me, and I will hope I realize this for everybody else here because I don't know where y'all were having these conversations, debates, and everything about basketball in 2017, 2018, 2019. I can say for me personally, maybe I was just in a bubble. I was in my own bubble, in my own small section of the internet, having these conversations. Not even a hate KD fan club, but at that time, me and B Souls, we were doing our second podcast we had doing basketball. It was a lot smaller. We were just in a niche section. That's when Lowe was a lot smaller. He was on the come up. I met Lowe in the Discord and didn't even know he was a fucking YouTuber. I just knew him as fucking a fake Laker fan is what I called him. Like I was just in a small niche little bubble having these arguments, and I would assume everyone up here were in their own similar small niches and bubbles. I don't know where niggas have these conversations. So to me, it seemed like, oh man, there was definitely a huge amount of discourse between Who's is that echoing? Everybody mute up. It's Jay. Yep, caught you. What you call it? To me, it seemed like, oh man, everybody having these conversations. It was definitely this 50-50 Kevin Durant, Steph, who was better. But for Mars, wherever the fuck he was having these conversations, it was the exact opposite. Nigga, he had to fight for his life that Steph was above KD. And that's what Mars, where were you having these conversations back in 2017, 2018?
In the womb.
Well, this nigga was over here arguing with sperm cells about
passionately arguing.
Everybody up here.
He like your numbers too low to stay up to my numbers.
Like I can assume everybody up here, when you were having these conversations and arguments, they were in a lot smaller communities, unless you were just in a popping Discord filled with thousands of people arguing every day. Like literally, it was a lot of smaller communities. So we have to have that kind of outside look of it as well. We were not in a space like a player's choice like this having these conversations. So when Mars says, oh, it was consensus, yes, it was a consensus in the side that Mars was arguing on. Just like in my opinion, I felt it was a consensus on Steph Curry being better and everybody realizing that. But that was on my side and my small niche circle of the internet. We got to remember the internet is about niches, circles, and small pockets because the internet is fucking massive, gang.
I want to drink more water. This is what he said he thought the consensus was. He says, I always thought the consensus was Steph over KD after his MVPs in the ring. So 2016, those times. KD joins, and then people really thought Steph was better. KD has his 2021 run, and people said KD was better. Then Steph won in 2022, and he's indefinitely better. I don't remember first of all, and then also I wanted to address Kobe Ashe. I think he said that where was it? Mars, you were watching First Take and Undisputed and thought it was consensus. Just admit it. First of all, yes, the most viewed basketball platforms are usually where consensuses are formed. When those videos and when they're getting watched by millions of people, and people are all commenting on it and they're agreeing with the fact that KD is the best player on the team. Yes, that's where you're going to get a stronger grasp for where a consensus comes from. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean if you're watching First Take, you are correct. But yes, that's what you're going to view a consensus with the largest pool of people. And whether I like it or not, the largest pool of people were the audiences of First Take and Undisputed and on Twitter at the time. That's where you get the largest pool of people. And the larger pool of people were saying KD was better than Steph. In 2017, after he won the Finals MVP, KD was the best player on the team. In 2018, after he won the Finals MVP, and KD tried to hand Steph the Finals MVP, and he was still the Finals MVP, KD was better than Steph. In 2019, when they lost without KD, KD was better than Steph. In 2007, when Steph was at Davidson and KD was in the NBA, KD was better than Steph. All the way until 2015, when KD got hurt and Steph won an MVP, everyone still said KD was better than Steph. The first time anyone even uttered the words Steph was better than KD was 2016. But people were still saying, oh, KD is better than Steph. And then the playoffs came around, and then the OKC blew the 3-1 lead. Then everyone was like, okay, Steph's better than KD because his team beat his team after coming back 3-1. But then it changed again when KD won the Finals MVP playing next to Steph. That's not my opinion. I'm saying that's what the consensus was. I have always said Steph was better than KD.
I think
but the consensus was not that.
I was just saying. I genuinely think you argue with somebody and niggas is misinterpreting what the fuck consensus means.
Maybe I have to show the definition of consensus.
I'm about to say, I think we're having a semantic off right now, and niggas is hung up on what consensus means.
I was just gonna say,
like, people are thinking because, hey, my name's Timmy. I thought Steph was better than KD, so you saying the consensus? No, you just were on the other side. You were in minority. That's all I'm saying. Like, consensus is a majority. The majority of people were saying KD was better than Steph. That's not projection. That's what was happening. So just because you were in the minority, just like I was, we were still arguing against the majority. That's what we were doing. So, like, I don't know why this is taking so long. The general agreement was KD was better than Steph. That's what was happening. Because I vividly remember everyone saying KD was better than Steph. The media was saying KD was better than Steph. The people were agreeing with the people in the media. And the people who disagreed were the ones who were like, Steph's off-ball gravity. Tyronn Lue said that he has to double-team Steph. And you were being called a nerd. Like, I remember what was happening. So, like, don't try and act like you were just in the majority opinion when you weren't. Because everyone who was like, oh, well, Steph's impact. And they were 27-4 without KD, whereas they were only 22-17 without Steph. And then when you look at it,
don't forget about Steph's gravity.
Tyronn Lue was saying, hey, I got to worry about Steph. You know, he's the most dangerous player and all of this. And he was double teaming Steph. All the gravity. You were being called a nerd because it was like KD won the finals MVPs. KD was averaging 30. But now all of a sudden you're going to act like that was a consensus. No, it wasn't. But whatever.
I was just gonna go back to the topic because I was like, I think we kicked this dead horse enough. But I was gonna say, what free agent signing or trades do you guys think for your team to make y'all better? For me, I think it's Walker Kessler. What about for you, Domo? What your like is?
Shit, I just had the guards pulled up. Gary Trent is still available, I think. I think if we could throw some money at him, that'd be great. I'm looking right now, this list of players. Lonnie Walker, I wouldn't mind bringing Lonnie Walker back. Need something.
Dennis Smith.
I wouldn't mind SJ, especially since Chris Dunn is apparently going to the Clippers.
What?
Yeah, it's saying right here he's supposed to be going to the Clippers. He's reported to be in conversation with the Clippers. I'm looking on the NBA free agency tracker, and it has everyone's reported deals.
Is Isaac Okoro still available?
I'm not seeing him. Under guards or forwards. I didn't see him.
Hey, Damo.
Alec Burks is still available. I got you in 1 second. Alec Burks is still available. I wouldn't be mad at Alec Burks. Who else? Fontecchio. If Fontecchio was an unrestricted free agent, I'd definitely throw money at him, but I don't know if you want to overpay Fontecchio. Buddy Hield is another guy I wouldn't mind paying. THT, if all else fails, wouldn't be a name I'm mad at. And Tyus Jones.
I was going to say Tyus Jones. I think he would be good for you guys.
Oh, yeah, it was me. So I'm a temporary Lakers fan because I'm a LeBron fan. So I got 2 more years right now as a Lakers fan. I've been hearing from Lakers fans lately that they want Cam Johnson and DFS in the trade. Heard that like 1,000 times. You think that's possible? Like, what you think about it?
I'm not mad at it. It just depends on what we. Not even depends on what we're giving up. I'll give them niggas D'Lo and Rui. Fuck it.
Isaac Okoro is available.
Jay Hood, give them. Fuck it. I would take Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith any given day.
I agree. That's all.
And yes, Isaac Okoro is available. So I just looked him up.
Is Dennis Smith Jr. available?
Thank you, Cowboy.
Dennis Smith Jr. is available. Yeah.
Lakers need to get him.
I'm a Bucks/Bulls fan. I want my Bucks to pick up Isaac Okoro or Precious Achua. Some youth athleticism.
Bucks and Bulls are like rivals, right?
Nah,
They're supposed to be. Rivals.
I'm just a Bucks fan because my favorite player Giannis, and I've been a Bulls fan.
I figured.
Yeah.
Jay Huff is available. Man, bring Jay.
Jay Huff, G League Defensive Player of the Year.
Jay Huff is available, man. Bring him back to the Lakers. Why do we let him walk?
He was in Denver this past year, right?
Yeah, yes, he was.
You know, Xavier Tillman is still available.
Yes, he is. I want mine.
Sadiq Bey still available. Oh yeah, I want Sadiq.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey off a torn ACL and not being good at basketball. Yeah, I mean,
it's even crazy.
Miles Bridges, Reggie.
Dario Saric is available too. Not mad. Daniel Tice, Dario Saric.
You could have got James Wiseman, man. You guys sold not getting James Wiseman.
Yes, we could have got James Wiseman. Sold the bag, man. He went to Indiana, didn't he?
Yep, he went to Indiana.
How much is Walker Kessler going for?
He's $3 million on the cap. He's $3 million on the cap.
Still on his rookie deal.
Yeah, no, I mean not like for money, but for
a second round pick.
No,
the Lakers need to jump on that.
They what they were asking for is like at least 2 second-round picks and like a player because they're moving away from Kessler with the centers that they're drafting and who they're moving around. So they ain't just gonna try to
jump on that.
He's gonna try to
I'll do Anthony Davis for Walker Kessler.
Get out of here.
Man, they got to do the evaluation on what's going on with Walker Kessler. Like, I don't know. Is this like a Amir Sheik situation or type shit? Like, I don't know. How does he go from a promising young big and then like a year later after Steve Kerr gets a hold of him, now this nigga's unplayable? Like, I don't know, man. There's got to be an investigation.
Yeah, I think it's the offensive game, but I'd like to ask Will Hardy about that. But I wanted to Tito Ambandito said it's Harden's fault.
Luke Kennard's a free agent.
Bro, Walker Kessler offense is so bad. I remember I bet the over of like 6 points, bro, and I was watching him, and he was missing everything.
I no longer hear wins. Okay.
What do you think Denver will do in this?
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, yeah. Russell Westbrook.
Do you think keeping Michael Porter Jr. is worth it?
What else are they going to get? Yeah.
I'm gonna say,
because when you have a Joker type of player, why do you need 4 stars? I don't think Michael Porter Jr. plays like a star, but they pay him like a star.
So what would they give? What would they trade Michael Porter Jr. for?
That I don't know, but I think that salary is really hurting them, because this year, the next year, he will be paid 36 million. I don't think he's a 36 million kind of player.
So what's a 36 million kind of player then? So
I don't think they need 36 million kind of player. I think they should have traded him somewhere and kept KCP and another 3-and-D guy brought it, because
KCP is more important than MPJ to me.
I also think that.
I feel like you guys are overreacting to that Timberwolves series. I feel like that's what's happening.
Not even.
I heard none of this when they beat the Lakers in 5 and he was shooting 7 million. But now all of a sudden, hey, MPJ really not that good. He's never been that good.
Nah, he's good. I feel like he's the. You know how people used to say that Klay is more valuable than Draymond? It's not equal. But remember when people used to say that? That's how I feel about KCP and MPJ. I feel like people just think
but I think they have that trio cleared up. The trio is Joker, Murray, and Gordon. I think they don't need MPJ.
You don't find a 6'10" guy who can shoot off the move and is a walking mismatch just growing on trees. Man. That doesn't exist.
I haven't seen him perform in any kind of big matches, man. He performs there where
last year, where he performed in
the finals against the Lakers.
He was shit in the finals, man.
I mean, it depends on what it depends what you call a big game. Like that's really what they say the same thing about James Harden. Well, he's never played well in the playoffs, and then it's like, well, he played well in this game, but that's the first round. He's never played good outside of that. Then he plays well in this game. Well, that's in the second round. And it's like the further you go in the playoffs, you're just going to keep saying, well, this is now the biggest game. And then the moment he plays badly as well, he never plays well in the big game. Like Michael Porter Jr. played well in the postseason last year. He played well in the first round this year. He just had a bad final series. So everyone's like, oh, well, bad finals. You ignore the fact that in the first 3 rounds, he was actually pretty good. And then this year, he was great against the Lakers, had a bad second round. It's like, oh, he never plays well in the biggest games. It's like, so we just ignore all the times he plays well, and just the 2 times he doesn't play well, that's the biggest moment, and he fell. Like, what's the standard? That's unfair.
Even if he plays well, my main point is, when you have the best player in the league, why do you need 4-star lineup for that much money committed to one player? Every best player like Jordan has Pippen and Rodman, Steph had Draymond and Klay. Yeah, whenever Bron had a team, he had Kevin Durant. But whenever Bron had a team, it was Kyrie and Kevin Love. So you have 3 guys fill the other roster spot because they don't have depth also. Yeah, the Peyton Watson was unplayable in this playoff. Christian Braun came up big, so that helped them. But they need some depth in the bench.
But real quick, it's funny how you brought up all those other big 3s or 3-star lineups you want to call them, but you ignored the last 2 champions who did not win that way. They won in this fashion of having more than 3-star lineups that you're talking about. The Nuggets just won with 4 stars. The Nuggets just won with 4. The Nuggets just won with 4. And then the Celtics won with what? 5?
Boston are gonna have 5 $30 million players.
So
but Boston doesn't have a Jokic kind of player. Jokic can clearly elevate in a series that can nullify any best player plus
but that's one versus the team though. That's
but the Celtics are gonna have 2 players getting paid like Jokic.
Yeah.
So even if they don't have a Jokic level player, which I agree with,
so
they're having 2 players paid like Jokic, and then 3 others still making 30 million.
Yeah.
And their team is still good. I don't think MPJ's contract is the problem.
So
what are you
then
even gonna get for
they need to
MPJ in
pay
a
people
trade?
like the Celtics are playing. The Celtics are paying because they are not willing to go to the second apron. What I heard from Swiper.
They're
Yeah, but
locked
that's
in for
because
the next 3 years.
I know because the people who own the Denver Nuggets own Arsenal.
Yes,
They're
I
just
know
cheap.
the Kroenke.
They're just cheap. So like, yeah,
But
if you want to go that point, I agree
but
with
man,
you.
you can't compare them to what the Arsenal season. They spent 700 million in the last 3 years with Arsenal.
They only started spending money when the fans started calling them out and then that Super League stuff. Then they had their little Amazon documentary. They was like, okay, yeah, okay, we're about to get run out the club, so let's start doing stuff.
But
Before that, they weren't doing nothing.
But they spent smart. The fans wanted them to bring back Aubameyang and Lacazette and help them. They didn't do that.
Yeah, in the last few years, they started finally being competent at their job because the fans nearly ran them out the club, so they started being competent. But they are just generally cheap. That's just what they are.
Real quick,
Okay,
Damo, what if Luke Kennard went to your Lakers?
That's some elite defense right there, Luke Kennard.
I don't like that at all. I mean, shooting cool, but I'm a defensive guy. For the most part. I know I did say Buddy Hield would be cool. I probably named a couple guys that aren't seen as defenders, but I'm good off Merle. You know, I'm good off Merle. Trust me.
W.
Who do you think Lakers can realistically get?
Everybody I named earlier.
They don't. I mean, to the late. So you got D'Lo, right?
Sign nobody.
But you're trying.
Yep.
Oh, I seen the tweet that you guys. DeMar's trying to go to the Lakers, and apparently the Bulls are gonna honor that. So
I don't want that. No.
It looks like you guys might get DeMar. So let's just ask on that.
What do you guys think of Marcus Smart?
Shit.
I think Marcus Smart, bitch.
I think Marcus Smart should keep his ass in Memphis.
I don't know. No offense, Marcus Smart. I'm joking. Marcus Smart, don't kill me. I'm joking.
I think he's a great Memphis Grizzly. That's what I think.
You don't think he's a good defender now?
No, I think he's a great defender for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay. No,
but how do you feel like DeMar DeRozan, the Los Angeles Laker?
Oh my God, we're fucking 3-4 years too late on DeMar DeRozan. I don't fucking care about DeMar no more, man. Oh my God, I don't want a third star. I don't want a third star because if we get DeMar, LeBron takes a pay cut. You know what the fuck that's gonna leave us with? That's gonna leave us with fucking with goddamn Iabu Badiji from the fucking Blazers last year. That's gonna leave us with fucking with goddamn Damon Jones again. That's what that's gonna leave us with. That's gonna leave us with all this goddamn
disrespecting Ibu Badji is crazy, but
I don't give a goddamn about no damn Ibu Badji.
I heard.
Hey, where's Piccolo in the chat? Tell me about Ibu Badji, man. Tell me about Ibu Badji.
I heard Jared Allen might be in the moves. You think Lakers should be looking at that? Lakers should be looking at that.
It's gonna cost too much.
Who?
Anthony Davis.
Man, don't give us 80.
Like, honestly, did the Lakers just wait too long? Like, why didn't and I don't know the cap situation. I'm not good with all that. But like Derrick Jones Jr. or Najee Marshall, for example, could they have got them? Or is it like
I think we could. No, we could have got Najee Marshall. We could have got Derrick Jones Jr. We could have. LeBron took a pay cut, so the Lakers can go out and throw money at these people. We offered Klay Thompson $20 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Jones is getting $10 million. Valanciunas is getting $10 million. Najee is getting like 9.5, 9. We could have got two of those guys on the Lakers. Now I don't know if I wanted Derrick Jones Jr. on the Lakers because throwing below the break non-shooters on the Lakers is not ideal. But at the same time, defense. I want the defense. So
what's the holdup?
How many first round picks would you give up for the right player this offseason?
Who's the right player?
Let's say a good POA defender or a good center. That's what you need right now.
Who is it though?
Okay, let's say Jarrett Allen.
How many first round picks am I going to give up for Jarrett Allen?
Yes,
everyone.
How many picks do the Lakers have?
I'm about to say I don't know.
They got two. I think Lakers have access to two right now
that they can actually trade because you know the rule about like trading picks and all of those.
I think they only could trade two.
Right?
I knew they could trade three, but they picked with that one. Connect. I think it's two now.
Okay.
2 first.
You'd give them both up for Jarrett Allen?
Hell yeah.
Low key.
Hell yeah. I like
honestly, what I would do, I honestly would give up 2 firsts for Jared Allen. Because as soon as LeBron leave, I'm just trading AD and getting all my assets back. Or as many assets back.
But JJ Redick has spoke about, because you got to think JJ Redick's the coach. JJ Redick has spoke about he doesn't like the dunker spot. Where's Jared Allen going to be? Does it fit with what JJ Redick wants to do? Like, we got to be somewhat realistic.
Nigga.
Is JJ Redick seems like he wants AD at the 5. Just the way he talks and the way he said AD is a hub and all of those things.
And of course he wants to make a 5.
So a non-shooting 5 man, that's not really a JJ Redick type move.
Jared Allen can shoot threes on 2K though.
Do you think they are really trying for?
Do I need to bring up Point Jarrett? Is that why I need to bring up Point Jarrett?
Oh Jesus!
Oh no! Wait! Don't tell me you hating on Point Jarrett Allen.
There is no Point Jarrett Allen.
You ain't see Jarrett Allen at Texas. You ain't see Jarrett Allen at Texas.
There is no Point Jarrett, bro.
It's funny how Mars got a point.
Okay. There's not a Point Jarrett Allen. There's not a Point Jarrett Allen.
I'm about to say there's no way there's a fucking Point Jarrett Allen.
There's not a Point Jarrett Allen, but.
I think, bro, I honestly think the Lakers should try to get Walker Kessler as a backup big if it's that cheap as 2 seconds. I don't know if they have access to them.
He don't like that. JJ Redick don't like big.
Yeah, but backup big.
No, but a backup big is. I think that's
next to AD is where I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not. That 80 at the 5 shit is dead. He's too big for it, and JJ's not doing it. Like
AD's staying at the 5 for the foreseeable future. No matter how people like it or don't like it, that's just. The reality is he's going to stay.
I don't really see the advantage.
And he already gained the weight to play the 5. Losing the weight in one off season, and it's not gonna. I don't know if that's possible in a healthy way.
It's absolutely possible.
Like
it took him like 2 off seasons to gain it.
Do you guys think the Klay to Mavs move is a little bit overblown?
Do I think who?
Klay to Mavs.
Overblown? No, I think that's a good.
That's a great pick for them.
I feel like that's a great fit.
But how will they play Kyrie, Luka, and Klay?
Who cares about defense?
Nigga, they played Kyrie, Luka, and Dante Exum. What the hell?
Man, then who is defending in that lineup, man?
It's not about that.
Why do you think it matters? Do you think they care who's defending in that lineup? Do you think they care? Like, if they throw that lineup out there, they trying to fucking score. And they saying they never did that. All right, I'm sorry. They played Luka, Kyrie, and fucking Tim Hardaway Jr. How about that?
They definitely did that.
They definitely did that. So there you go. They definitely did that. So tell me the difference here. How much? There's no way you're telling me. There's no way you're telling me Tim Hardaway Jr. is way more capable than fucking Klay right now. Shit.
But Tim Hardaway Jr. was also unplayable for this team. In the
Klay ain't got defense no more though.
Absolutely.
Klay ain't got defense neither. So
I think people are overblowing Klay. I think people are overblowing Klay's shooting regression. He's not.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be who he is.
There's not 10 better shooters than Klay Thompson.
Yeah. I'm about to say, even with his shooting regression, they're overblowing it. I'm gonna say they're overblowing it compared to himself. Like that's the thing. People see the shooting regression when it comes to Klay, and they're comparing it to Klay's standard levels, and that's what they're saying he fell off. I realized
he went out 0 for 10. He went out 0 for 10.
The 0 for 10 shit was bad. But I realized this shit midway through this season. Looking at his shooting numbers compared to the rest of the league, like the season he had last year, if you told me there was a nigga that was giving me 18 a game with decent defense, if you want to call it that, shooting 39% from 3, I promise you niggas would be. I think a lot of niggas would turn head over heels for that type of a player.
Like, the two full seasons since Klay's not the 22 season he was getting back. So take that out. The 2 full seasons since Klay's been back, he's shooting 40% on 10 threes a game in the regular season.
But I think that is,
and that's with his shot selection included.
Hey, I have a question.
The shot selection is a bigger issue than his
that nigga was chucking.
He still thinks he can shoot whatever he wants. That's the problem. But he can still shoot the basket.
Does Klay need a rhythm to? Is he like a movement shooter where he has?
Yes, he's a
like. Is he worse catch and shoot, just stationary, or like
what? Just spot up, like you.
Like will his shooting regress because he'll be spotting up more?
Why would he?
I don't know about regress, but I feel like you're not maximizing Klay if you aren't having him moving or in some set action or anything to like scramble the weak side defense. I feel like you're not taking advantage of having Klay Thompson if you have him spotting up, in my opinion.
Why would you get spotting up though? Why?
Because Dallas don't run much in terms of off-ball action. That's why.
But I feel like giving a guy like Klay, I mean, with his reputation and
it makes you want to do it.
You're gonna have to do that. Like that's gonna be something.
Yeah, that's the ideal. Is Jason Kidd hasn't done that because he hasn't had the personnel to do it. But the pessimist is Jason Kidd's never ran offense for off-ball shooters. So
I would ask, what's a comparable situation? And I don't know why, but my first thought was Ray Allen going to the Heat. I don't know why I'm assuming Klay Thompson is in his Ray Allen in the Heat years, which is kind of crazy. But did the Heat run crazy off-ball sets for their shooters before Ray Allen got there? Because I know when Ray got there, that nigga was moving. That nigga was moving off ball. He was not posted up.
They made a concerted effort to give Ray Allen the ball early.
What's the guy who won? No, not
James Jones.
I'm gonna go back to like the 09 Heat roster. I'm gonna remember his name when I see it.
Daquan Cook.
Daquan Cook. Daquan Cook. Thank you. They were running shit for Daquan Cook. So
was he on the Heatles?
No. I'm talking about prior to the Heatles, but
I was talking
09 D Wade MVP year type.
Well, I was talking about that first year that.
The 2011
Heat? The 2011 year. So the year before Ray Allen got there, where they were running all shooters compared to when he got there.
He was on Eddie House. Eddie House was the shooter on that team. Mike
I don't remember them running a lot of
they didn't run a bunch. Like Ray Allen amplified it, but they run stuff for shooters. But Daquan Cook was getting stuff run for him. That's what I remember.
But that's what I would assume what happened for Klay going to the Mavericks. Now I do feel like there's a difference between a team that ran some versus a team that ran absolutely nothing. But I would assume once you get a player of that caliber that has a reputation of, this nigga is a guy that has to be mobile. He is known for being mobile with his shots, getting around the court, getting around off-ball screens to get open for a shot. It just makes too much sense to implement that, even if you don't have that at all. He's just one of those players that demands that type of implementation to your offense because of how he shoots. I think it would be terrible if we open up the season and we start seeing in their first 10 games, this nigga Klay Thompson is essentially playing their PJ Washington role of offense of, I'm going to just stand right here on the corner. I'm going to wait for it. Thank you. And shooting. It's going to look real bad on Jason Kidd if that's the case.
They should start the game getting him touches immediately. Every game.
If Klay sees the first one going in, he's taking 11 shots in the first quarter. I don't know if you want to start the game going to Klay, because if the first one goes in, he might shoot 19. And if the first one misses, he might shoot 12 because he needs to get in the rhythm. You don't know. Like, I don't know if you want to be going to Klay. But I just think you're wasting his most valuable asset at this point, which is still his shooting ability, but also his gravity and the attention he draws. If you just have him spotting up. If you actually have him coming off some down screens, some calls, maybe you have, like, you get Luka involved or Luka Lively, you run some Spain, something where Klay's popping out, like the attention he's going to draw just by being Klay, that creates. I think Jason Kidd has to use that, in my opinion.
Can Klay set screens? Is he a good screen setter?
He's not a big body screener, but people are going to say attached to him if he sets a screen.
Yeah, they're going to use that.
So he has that. Yeah, he has that, but he's not like going to get you open, but he's going to keep guys drawn to him. But Drinkmore Water asked a question, which I actually thought was interesting. He said, excluding time spent together and achievement, so just talent-wise, where does AD and Boogie rank in big man pairings?
You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Just in terms of talent?
Yeah, just how many big man pairings are better than AD and Boogie just as players?
Top 5.
Regardless of achievements.
Can you say Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace?
Probably top 5.
I'm not gonna say the fucking Wallace twins.
They won a championship.
Top 3, low-key.
I don't give a damn about that. Ain't had shit to do with them two's talent specifically. That was a team effort. I would say off the top of my head, no thought given, I would say they have to be top 10 all time. In terms of just a talent. So you say
he just went the pessimist route. So at worst that they're not going to be able to top 10.
At worst they're 10. You have to think about history, and if we really start going through it, because niggas will be mad, but it's gonna get nasty. You start bringing out them 60s and 70s teams, but they really do got two all-time great bigs on the team. I'm just saying.
Nate Thurman and Wilt played together.
Can we run the 10?
Okay.
Can we run the 10?
Are they more talented than AD? I don't know.
Relative to error, I'd say yes, but I'm lower on Boogie than like the consensus. I'm a lot lower on Boogie than the consensus.
Talented when they played together, or you can use.
Yeah, when they play together, you're not gonna get washed up. Someone.
Yeah, no, we're not.
No, I'm saying like I want to know what the 10 would be because
Ralph and
Hakeem.
I do like
Sampson and
Ralph and
Hakeem.
Hakeem.
I do Ralph
like
Sampson and Hakeem.
D-Rob and Duncan.
Duncan and Robinson is number one. They're number one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's two.
I was asking that question for Duncan and Robinson. That Robinson was kind of washed.
Yeah, but Robinson wasn't washed the moment they got together. He was washed by like 02, 03. But
he wasn't that 96, 97 player.
Well, yeah, he wasn't the same after the injury, but he was still a top 15 player in the league.
I think they're going to be for sure top 5, bro. Like, you have someone with as much defensive talent as AD and a lot of offensive talent in DeMarcus Cousins. So it's like overall talent between. I think they're top 5. Easy. Top 5.
Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph.
Get out of here.
I'm naming duos. Damn, now niggas ain't get out of here.
I've only heard one that I agree with so far.
You don't have Sampson and Hakeem? That's tough.
I'm about to say, yeah, Sampson and Hakeem.
I don't think I have them.
Okay. What about Moses?
In terms of talent as a big,
real quick.
Really
Hey,
high.
real quick. Monte Morris to the Suns.
They need a point guard. Okay,
that's the point guard they went with. Chris Dunn got off the board. The point guard they go with is Monte Morris. I'm not mad at it.
I'm trying to think of
Mikal and what was his name? Parrish?
No.
Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. I ain't going with that.
Bro, there's not that many bigs.
When the Warriors went smooth, KD and Draymond.
That's insane.
When the Warriors went
all Millsap and Al Horford. Once we start saying these names,
it's top 5.
That maybe is top 5. Maybe I'm overestimating.
Bro, AD's talent alone is up there, bro. As a big.
All right. Let's relax.
AD's carrying. Like in my
I'm still high on DeMarcus Cousins, so I don't want to make it seem like AD is just pulling dead weight. Boogie's like that. As a talent, Boogie's like that. We're just talking pure talent. He's like that. Nigga said Shaq's talent.
Boogie is not carrying the offense, but I digress. I'm a Boogie hater, I guess. I'm
gonna say Boogie's not carrying the offense. I don't. Nigga, you must hate AD if you think Boogie's carrying the offense. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just not as high on a big who isn't great around the rim.
How do we not think of this duo? Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. Come on, man.
Get out.
Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond is. SC Dubs requested to join the stage. Let's go. Let's get 15 minutes.
How about Dirk and Tyson Chandler?
Let's go.
Dirk and Tyson.
Get out of here. Is there 3 bigs with more defensive talent than AD?
What?
Kevin Garnett.
I get okay.
Duncan.
Defensive talent.
Hakeem.
I can get with Hakeem. He has more defensive talent than AD. He's a better defender.
KG is one I'm certainly saying. I can get with Hakeem and I can get with David Robinson. Everyone else
like a step down from AD. I gotta say that.
I think these guys
Wemby's valid. Wemby's valid.
Wemby's a valid argument.
AD can.
What about Tyson Chandler?
Who do we?
What about Derek Lively?
Wait. You said as a defensive talent, AD can damn near do everything. Who did we name that can't damn near do everything?
No, I agree with you. I'm saying, though, I agree with KG. That's it. The rest are close and obviously arguments. But
so what do you? What is your argument?
Russell, what we talking?
Hold on. So what is your argument for? What is your argument for AD over Hakeem defensively?
I think AD could defend on the perimeter better than Hakeem. I think AD is actually a really, really good screen navigator for how big he is.
Do you realize
is that because he's more talented or because he was just in a league that didn't have as much pick and roll?
What did you ask me?
Is that because AD's more talented or because Hakeem wasn't in a league that really had a reliance on pick and roll? So he just didn't have to play.
I can't give him it if I couldn't see it like that. He probably could do it.
And
so then that's just saying that today's league requires more versatility.
Yeah, and I actually get to see it. I can't just say, maybe.
But based on that, then why do you have KG? Then why do you have KG?
Can I say something?
Because I think KG is very, very underrated in terms of. I think KG can defend on the perimeter better than AD.
But
And
I
I
think
think
he didn't have to do it as much.
Huh?
He didn't have to do it.
Yeah, but I agree. But when he did it at such an elite level against really good players, really good perimeter players. I don't remember. I haven't watched substantial amount of Hakeem. I don't remember him doing it.
I was
on that great of a level. I remember. I'm like in my mind right now. I'm remembering AD defending Jimmy Butler in the finals. I remember we were putting AD on
game 3.
We were putting AD on Kawhi, and he was locking him up. We were putting AD on everyone.
For you to say that about Hakeem, to me, I think is not fair because for a decade, he averaged 4 blocks for a season. 4 blocks for an entire decade to where he was playing defense.
I didn't say AD was a better defender.
No. I'm
he's just saying talent. He's just saying talent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're saying only KG as far as a defensive talent. I'm saying Hakeem, you said you didn't see it. I'm trying to show you because there's things Hakeem did defensively as well as other things. But for me to do that, I've never seen AD do it.
Now, now, Cowboy. Now,
he's on the perimeter.
Now, Cowboy, let me raise you this since we're talking about 90s ball.
Oh,
what if I told you? Oh, nah. I'm being dead serious too. But what if I told you, because of the way basketball was played in the 90s, inherently it made defense easier.
But here's another thing too, though. The way the league is now.
So him averaging 4 blocks for a decade, while yes, statistically and numerically that may be impressive, but if I'm playing in an era where inherently it's easier to play defense and get said blocks, and we're in an era where they're goosing numbers without any fact checking.
Okay. Can I say something?
Was it really that good though?
With this league, with the spacing and how they are playing, Hakeem was playing defense like that as a rotating defender. He had very good footwork and he dropped into a lot of coverages back then. So now with even more spacing and more timing and to stay in the paint as a big, as opposed to getting 3 seconds back to basket, all that other calls. Now he has the time. His blocks are going to be more consistent, and that stat pattern y'all are saying, it's probably going to be about 5 or 6 blocks because of the ability, that when people come into the paint, he's going to be able to move up with his footwork and get blocks a lot better. I'm not saying that he's going to be outshining, but he's going to be able to maintain at least the 4 blocks because of the spacing and how they're using the bigs now as far as rotating. Hakeem had very good footwork. He was able to rotate a lot and help out on the block, and that's pretty much what they're doing now. So I think he would have been consistent in that era or this era. That's why I say I think Hakeem is one of those guys that could actually match up with AD.
I think he could match up. You guys are talking like I think it's just AD clear. I just think AD is top 3. And I think he's 2.
Yeah, I think that's
pure talent-wise. What about like Bam or somebody? He's like crazy in the perimeter.
Man, have you guys seen Cooper Flagg?
Exactly.
Man, that's not even a joke. We talk about defensive talent. Have you guys seen Cooper Flagg? Have you guys seen Cooper Flagg?
I heard somebody compare him to Jonathan Isaac the other day.
Cooper Flagg is just talent-wise. Cooper Flagg defensively, he not Wemby, but
let's see. Wait, Mars. We gotta see how it translates on the next level. Now, if he goes to college and he's looking like one of the best defenders in the nation, I might believe it a little bit more, but then I'm gonna still have to see it on an NBA level. But still, it'll be more validity. It's just like the Zion athleticism argument. Yes, in high school when you're playing all these other people, yeah, your athleticism looks crazy. But how athletic do you look on a D1 level?
What do you think about his offensive game?
I like it. I like Cooper's game. I'm not.
It's a little.
You're not highlighting. Listen.
His defense is like up here to me. His offense.
All right, what do you guys consider defense?
I'm more high on his confidence in him as a personality than I am on, I guess, his offense. I'm more high on the fact that he has the mindset of I'm gonna bust your ass versus how he's busting niggas' asses. Paul. That makes sense.
I was gonna ask.
I have a question about I have a question about how teams draft. Because I started watching very recently. So, in a league where you can't play a player who can't shoot, you have to get him off the floor. Why are teams still drafting good defenders who can get to the rim but can't shoot?
because shooting is something that a lot of teams feel can be developed, and realistically, that is a skill that should be something that should be developed. Your shooting can theoretically should always be able to get better. I should be able to draft a guy like Ryan Dunn, get him in my system, in my development tree, and get him a fucking lethal shooter or whatever shooting coach to fine tune his shot to where he's a decent shooter on the NBA level, and I can maximize that defense. That's why you do it. The problem is these teams suck, and people don't realize how bad these organizations suck and how bad their player development is and how many of these guys are going to the NBA level and they're not developing at all. Like, we assume because these are NBA teams, they have a development team, their development team is doing their jobs, and realistically, more teams are not doing their jobs than not. There is a small amount of teams that are actually good at player development, and people don't realize that. So a lot of these teams are just drafting these guys and not doing their jobs.
I just got a quick question about
people just have like too much faith in developing like shot. It just overall.
Jaylen Brown done tricked the whole world.
I was just gonna ask,
but what is more valuable? A shooter who you can teach defense or effort, or a defender that maybe his shot comes.
A defender that I can try to a defender that I can teach to shoot.
It depends
any time of the day.
I'll put it this way: there's not a world in which I'm drafting Reed Shepherd over Amen Thompson.
That's a fact.
Can I ask you guys about?
You can't teach a nigga defense because defense. There's first of all,
there's two types of defense.
What a lot of players, they just have measurables that make them great defenders on top of the athleticism, on top of things that they were blessed with. But you can't teach a motherfucker to be 6'5", 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. You can't teach that. Like, I can teach a nigga to shoot a basketball. I can't teach you to have longer arms. I can't teach you to hustle more. I can't teach you to want it. For a lot of people, defense is mental. It's a mental thing. It's I want to shut this guy down. I want to get to that ball. I want to stop this guy from getting to the spot. I can't teach you to do that. I can teach a nigga to shoot a basketball from the corner. I can put you in the gym, tell you shoot 100 shots from here, 100 shots from here, 100 shots from here, and your shot should get better theoretically. I cannot sit you in a gym and tell you, make your arms get longer. I can't sit in the gym and teach you to run harder. That's just shit that's something about you.
I was going to ask what if a big guy that can shoot? Because I asked that because this is the first draft I followed, and I heard your conversation about Sar and Risheshe. So if both of them turns out to be good role players, you don't think Risheshe has greater value than Sar because he's 6'8", 6'10", can defend, can shoot?
I think
hell no. First of all, if you ask me anything about Risha shit, I don't give a damn. Hell no. Let me tell you, I feel like this was a bad draft to be your first draft. Because a lot of teams pick like players in bad positions. So a lot of players went to like bad situations. So this is probably the bad first draft. What I would ask you to do, if you got time, go through and look at the last 10 drafts. Just look at the last 10 drafts, lotteries, first rounds, whatever you want to do. Hell, second rounds. Because there's been a lot of second round talent that's prospered in the NBA. Look at the last 10 drafts and look at some of these bigs or these players as prospects and look where they are now. At least the guys that have made it this long, guys that have had 10-year careers. The guys that had 10-year careers, look where they started and look where they are now, whether it's ended, whether they're peak, whatever it is. And then you can kind of see how teams are developing players, the shift in the game of basketball, what the outlook on how to build a team looked 10 years ago versus now. It'll tell you a lot.
Can I just ask you guys about Cooper Flagg's defense? Because I'm not really watching him like that. Is that like Gary Payton versus Joe Dumars, or better yet, like he's on ball, like he's on ball locking you up to where, let's say you average 20 points, he could stop you at 10, or is he the type of guy that can get into situations, stay in front of the guy, and get that create into a offensive turnover? Like, you get what I'm trying to say, or no?
A lot from what I've seen, he's a lot of help side blocks, a lot of rim protection. That again, this is from what I've seen. I'm not gonna act like I got the most Cooper Flagg film, and I'm gonna let Mars get into it because he probably is more insightful about his defense than I am. But from a lot of what I've seen, good rim protector, great mobility.
Okay,
definitely switchable, good feet on him, and can stay in front of people. At least from what I've seen. And again, we're talking about the high school level, and even at the highest of the high school level, where he's going to these camps, these events, and everything like that, the defense still upheld. It wasn't His defense
He
stepped
has
down
good.
when the
Yeah,
talent stepped up. No matter who's in front of him, he has good footwork.
he has good footwork
mobility.
because he's
can
on his
switch.
toes. Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
gonna say him playing twinkie toes. That's a lot of people don't even know that. That's why I tell people if you look at their feet and they're playing good defense, they're twinkle toes, which means the only way you know that they're gonna get set or tracked is coming off of a screen. But go ahead, Mars. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, he's a help defender.
So what are your thoughts on the Warriors signing?
Hold on real quick. Let Mars.
No. We only have 4 minutes. Go ahead. We only have 4 minutes.
So what were your thoughts on the Mavericks signing Klay Thompson, and what do you think he's gonna bring to the organization in the upcoming season?
I think he's gonna bring great shooting value, floor spacing, and championship pedigree. I think that's what he's
as a Warriors fan, I really wanted to see him sign with the Lakers. Everybody wanted to see him go to the Lakers, but he went to the Mavericks because his father played for the Lakers. Michael Thompson, Klay Thompson's father. He won championship with the Lakers. Man, he brought history to that organization when he played for them.
He did.
His brother played for the Dodgers. His brother, Klay Thompson, played for the Dodgers.
Yep.
You're correct.
He doesn't play for the Dodgers anymore. I think he plays for Minnesota. I don't know what he doesn't play for the Dodgers. That's all I know. He doesn't play for LA anymore. He used to play for LA back in the day. So
back in the day, like PS.
Yeah. He used to play for the Dodgers. No. I'm saying Klay Thompson used to play for the LA Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that it was a good move?
Yeah, I think it was a good move. I think he fits. If Jason Kidd draws up some off-ball
and
plays.
does some people some people disagree with it? Like, does anybody here disagree with that move that sent him to Dallas? Do you think that it wasn't the best move? He could have gone anywhere he wanted to, and he chose to go to Dallas.
I think everyone agrees with the move. I think everyone.
Yeah, I don't.
But I wanted to go. But I wanted to see him play on the Lakers, to see him play with LeBron James.
I mean, I didn't want to see him play on the Lakers for $20 million a year. So
But
I'm not mad at it.
No, everybody was saying that. I asked everybody which team he wanted to see Klay Thompson get traded to. Everybody was saying Lakers.
How do you feel about DeAnthony Melton?
I think he's going to bring talent. I think he has a lot of quality in shooting that he can bring to the Warriors. I think he can make Warriors a really strong team next year. I think he can. I know it. I haven't seen him play. I haven't seen him play a lot, but I think he has qualities.
He just has a feeling.
I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see him play on the Warriors next season. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to see how well he plays, and then I'll assess it for myself.
That's a good thing to do.
I'll wait. I'll wait until he plays for a couple of years, and then I'll see if this guy's decent or not. I don't want to just say he's decent without seeing him play on the Warriors. I want to see if he's decent next year.
Got you.
That's smart.
Yeah. Because if he's that's what fans do, right? They assess the player's performance. They see how well he does, and then they say this guy's a decent player. I want this guy on my team.
How do you feel about Andrew Wiggins going into next year? Are you hopeful that he will re-progress again, or do you think the regression will continue?
I don't want Andrew Wiggins to leave. I want Andrew Wiggins to stay. I like his game. I like his gameplay. I like how he plays, man. He's a fighter. He's a straight out fighter. That's the true definition of Andrew Wiggins. He's a straight out baller. He knows how to play basketball. He knows how to play the game. He could teach other people how to play the game. That's what, And you guys agree? You guys agree with my take on that?
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful assessment. I have some power.
I don't agree. Yeah, I don't agree.
Why don't you agree? Domo, can you please tell me why you don't agree?
I just don't believe. I just don't believe in Andrew Wiggins. But we got to read some power chats though. Hold on, we got to read.
Yeah, okay. Drink more water. Said I don't know if it's mental or not, but Giannis's free throws look so much better in FIBA versus in the NBA since 2019. Whenever he speeds up his routine, he shoots better. I think he shot 78% in the 2022 FIBA, 51 of 65 on a larger volume. So do you think Giannis's free throw issues are mental?
Absolutely. I think free throws are always mental.
Not gonna lie, but
free throws are 100% mental. So yeah.
Thing called backboard. Use it.
Or it seems like he just needs to speed up his routine.
Don't got backboard touch, bro.
You just don't need to think about it. I ain't gonna hold you. I think Angel Reese got the best free throw routine. Get that bitch up there. Fuck it. She get that hoe up, nigga. 0.5. Nigga.
Hey, Cowboy Bob, I'm a big fan of Team USA Soccer, and I'm so heartbroken that they got eliminated from the Copa America tournament. That's like the tournament where all the players, like the World Cup of soccer, and they lost to Bolivia 1-0. They're out. They're out of the tournament.
Copa America, what?
No, it's Copa America. Like it's kind of like the World Cup.
I know what is Copa America, but it's not the World Cup.
Wait, we don't have time for this. We don't.
I'm about to say I gotta go. I'm about to say yeah.
We have to end the show, but there's a lot of power chats. I'm gonna read them.
I'm gonna read
the power chats as quick as I can. Okay, Culture just basically cooked football for a little while. He told him to shut up before he throws a hamster at him, and then he told him to get. Then he said it again. Shut up or I'll throw a hamster at you. Then he said the Hornets are run by nothing but drillers and beaters. Lil Ray Rod said Domo is time for the Lakers to get Vucevic.
Big Vooch? No.
Ah, damn. And then a couple people just not very nice to my guy SG Dubs. So you know what? I'm just not even gonna read their power chats because it's not worth it. You guys are being mean. Shout out to SG Dubs. Shout out to everyone who joined.
First of all, I want to
Open Gym
first
Thursday.
of all, I want to say I really
Merry
love
Christmas.
love your show. I love your YouTube channel. I love all your content. Hope you keep making more content because your show's gonna explode off there. I mean, you guys are gonna make so much content that people are gonna tune into your channel every day.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, thank you guys for watching Open Gym. We'll be back on Thursday. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Something I don't know. But Merry Christmas,
Knicks
guys.
signing Kessler. That would be a dream.
Hey, Mars. Maybe something you guys should do is you should vote on topics